Good evening. We at Choices extend season's greetings to His Excellency Mr. Donald Ramotar, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, and the Leader of the Opposition, Brigadier Retired David Granger, and to all Guyana, wherever you view Choices. Also to all our friends at Friends Forever TV Network. Also Pastor Mark Moorhead. We want to say greetings. We encourage you to stay tuned as we discuss Christmas and the family. God bless you.
Christmas is a season of giving and sharing. And so when we examine giving and sharing within the context of the family, we recognize how important the role of Christ is in terms of how families can grow, develop, and progress. You know, when we look at the work of Jesus, we know He died for the people of every nation, peoples of every nation, every ethnos, every people's group. And therefore, within nations, we find that families make up nations. And because families make up nations, we have to understand, you know, how Jesus actually gave His life in terms of redemption. And families can actually grow and prosper and develop as they connect to Jesus. So this is a season where families can seek to build relations and to foster, you know, good attitudes and values. And you know, when we reflect on the nativity scene, we saw Jesus operating in the context of a nuclear family, which is exemplary of how family should really live and how family should really operate. So we want to examine Jesus, the work of Jesus as it relates to families.
You know, today, the day of our recording, Thursday evening, I had the privilege of looking at the BBC News. They did something, and they were kind of projecting to the world the nativity scene. They took everyone downtown London right in front of their tremendous office, and they had set up a nativity scene complete with animals and everything there. And I thought this was such a powerful picture in 21st century where we're struggling with what is the definition of the family. And here we have this nuclear family screaming at us. You know, Joseph, Mary, baby Jesus, and not just family, but community, the wise men who came from afar. And perhaps for us as we celebrate Christmas 2013, these two images of family and community should be foremost in our minds. The reporter sort of set up, I think the BBC, they set up their staff, and they interviewed, in the first instance, someone from China. And it's amazing that they said they had about 100 million Christians in China. And so the Christmas tradition is very well alive in that country. The second person to be interviewed was someone from India who said also that Christmas is very much alive in India. And the third person to be interviewed was a Russian, yeah, who took us a little bit about Christmas in Russia, and who said that Christmas at one time was banned.
For over 20 years, yes.
Yeah, and then it re-emerged in a powerful way. You know, can you really ban Christmas? But the reporter was making the point that it's back with a bang, and for commercialized, yes, but the whole notion of this image of the family, and in a small way we are attempting to project this image to us. Jesus is central not just to the church, but he's central to the movement of the family and the community.
You know, we don't want to confine we should not confine Christmas to any particular racial group. And I had an experience today, it's amazing, walking through town. I overheard a family of East Indian descent saying that, we have to get the fairy lights. And you saw Chinese and, East Indian people, Amerindian people, all in the hustle and the bustle, trying to, to fit in. And so I don't think anyone could really downplay Christmas because of the magnitude and the impact of the man Jesus Christ. People may have tried to, but for some particular reason, when that season would have come, people begin to burst forth and flow with the season, and that's the power of Christ.
Well, the message of the angels was peace on earth, peace and goodwill. We need that not only at Christmas time. We need that year round. Peace on earth and goodwill towards all men.
Peace on earth is shalom. Shalom to all mankind. When we say shalom, we are talking about the peace in you. Because Christ died for you. And this peace can be extended, this shalom, between people and for the people. So this is goodwill to all men. So do enjoy a very peaceful Christmas. Shalom.
Well, not just peace for and among, but I particularly like the concept of shalom applying to peace in. I think if we could experience the peace within, we'll then be able to work towards that peace outside of ourselves. And this is definitely possible as a result of the Christ child.
Well, on the day when we were closing off from school, my friend Nana told me that he thought Christmas was about gifts, bringing presents for other people, and decorating. As soon as I heard that, I said, "You are very wrong, good friend. Christmas is about Jesus." Like you didn't hear when I was speaking to everybody on NCN News, Santa is real because Christmas is about Jesus.
Excellent.
So I told her that, and she did, and she just walked right away, and I stood there, and I said nothing.
You're a witness. You are a witness. And in the midst of all the commercialization, Christian people must stand out and let the world know that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of the living God.
And this is a time for you to celebrate. This isn't a time where you should really focus on how much money you're gonna have to spend around Christmas. What's important is that you spend time with your family, you remember Jesus in these moments, and you don't allow your budget to hamper your celebration. Because the entire thing is about celebrating Jesus, not about celebrating the Sizia meal on Christmas Day or Boxing Day.
Right. And while gifts are nice and they're important, especially children look forward to gifts, and those things are good, but to me the greatest gift that we can give each other is the gift of love, the gift of ensuring that we pass down good traditions and good values. And Christmas time is usually a time when everybody is kind of excited and re-energized, and so we can start having good traditions in our families. Christmas time is a nice place to start it, right? Yeah.
Well, definitely it is. That kind of resonates with the message of the angels: peace on earth and goodwill towards men. When we think about that, the world has changed significantly since that very first Christmas. One of the struggles that we have in our present world, so many of our young people are unemployed in our world, and this brings a lot of pressure and young men and young women around the world. Somehow we have to, Christmas offers us an opportunity to renew our resolve, to find a way to experience not just peace on earth at this season, but peace on earth throughout the year. And we have to find a way. Human beings must come together to find a way to really make this happen in a greater way. Daniel, I believe you wanted to say something.
When we talk about Christmas, we see that Joseph, Mary, and Jesus. Now, no matter where we go, they always end up as a family. Now, Christmas is about us celebrating the death of Jesus. Not going down to the store asking, you get the birth of Jesus. Not when your husband come in the door, you get the beef, you get the pork, you get the chicken, you get the curtains, you get the mat, you got everything.
Amen.
Christmas is not about a Christmas tree and about the mat and decorating house. This is about just sitting down and thinking about Jesus. You're thinking of the birth of Jesus, how special he was to us.
This has been very special to us, you know. And he posited earlier, and he said Christ died. Jesus died for families. And when we think about families, you know, we have to remember that we talk about the nuclear family. We're also experiencing Christmas as a family. We need to always remember them also as a friend. And I trust that we will remember that as we go on during this Christmas season.
One of the very, very powerful images, again, of Christmas is the fact, well, of the wise men who came from the east. It's all right. The wise men who came from the east. To me, when they went and they found the family in the house, they presented three gifts: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The more we reflect on the gifts, it tells a very powerful story. Those men who came from the east, who came from afar, they were not Christians, but they came because they recognized that there was an unusual star, an unusual brightness. And here I want to tread a dangerous line by saying, but a line nevertheless, that Christ died for this entire world.
Amen.
And especially at Christmas time, every man's world must feel the impact of this light. You know, John said about him, in him was life, and this life was the light of men. So even though there are men and women who are living in darkness, this light should penetrate and minister to them. This light should shine very clearly in their own world. Our world is a different world. But you might be looking at this program and you're wondering, do I have a place in that world? Yes, you do have a place in this world. That's why Jesus came. And listen to this. At that very first scene, gold, these wise men recognize him as king. You know, these people came from other religions, but they recognized the importance of this king. That's why they brought gold. Someone brought gold. We don't know. Tradition has assigned some names, but we're not going to deal with those names. But the Bible clearly states gold because they recognize his authority, his kingship. Secondly, the second gift was frankincense. This particular gift is significant because it is used, it's really an incense, and it's used in the act of worship of the priest. So first, these wise men who were not Christians recognized that Jesus was king above to be worshipped. The third gift is one that I continue to ponder on. They went to this as we say, christening or offering up. And one king had the presence of mind to bring myrrh. Myrrh, what is myrrh? Myrrh is a spice that is used in the process of preparing the dead for burial. Now I want you to think about this. At his birth, these wise men who came understood. They saw 3 different glimpses of Jesus. Not just a baby in the manger, but a king, one. Secondly, he should be worshipped. And thirdly, even at his birth, they recognized he was going to die. And that's why Jesus cannot just be kept in the walls of the church, and it can't be kept in a manger. That's why he's relevant to every man's world. I may not like your world, but I tell you something. Jesus is relevant in your world, and he loves you just as he loves me.
And when Jesus invades or come into your world at your invitation, perhaps, because each of us, we have a right as souls, as human beings, to be free moral agents. But Jesus Christ, he will come with this shalom, with this peace, and transform your moral and ethical relationship with people. That is, to my mind, the riot. That is the righteous invasion of territory.
You know, shalom is indicative of not only peace, but as we explore the different meanings of shalom, it talks about completeness, wholeness, and security. And so all of these things, you know, you can imagine that the shalom of Jesus is it can make you complete, it can make you whole, it can make you safe and make you secure. So he's a man for everyone, the downtrodden, those who are rich, those who are going through, you know, tremendous suffering and torment. They don't have to be like that, you know. As Isaiah said, arise and shine, for the glory of the Lord has come upon you. And this is what Christmas is about. It is about the glory of Christ coming upon you and removing you out of your state of decadence. He's a powerful man.
Yeah, you know, so many our world, as we go to the end of another year, I'm particularly troubled by the number of suicides. I perhaps early on in my life was cynical about that. But every suicide reminds me of, it's a manifestation of a human being who might be struggling with issues that he or she feels they cannot relate or nobody would understand. But there is someone who understands, and his name is Jesus. And the secret might be, what if the issue might be dark, it might be disgusting, it might be depressing, but it is one that we really want to recommend. I think the writers of the Synoptics, they understood the Synoptic Gospels. They understood that the people who walked in darkness, mirroring the power of Isaiah, the people who walked in darkness, people who live in darkness, they have seen a great light, you know, and that's why I love John. John says that Jesus became flesh and blood and did a most powerful thing. He moved into our neighborhood. So right where we're feeling pain, whether it be a child, you know, we look at in our own country, we look in the region in Jamaica, where some of you are watching this program right now. We look at the challenges faced by individuals and by families and by companies and by communities, and do not give up. There's hope, because he's just one prayer away. You don't have to change your garment to get him to hear you. He's just one prayer away. What do you think about that, Miss?
Yes, sitting here thinking about the whole notion of Christmas and family. I'm thinking about those who may not have the opportunity of having their moms and their dads close by. Because Jesus came to take the sins of the world, because He is the light, because He is peace, I want to encourage you who may not have their moms or dads close to them. I want to encourage you that Jesus is there. He is the one that brings that peace, and He can become your mom and become your dad. I want to encourage you kids, gifts like Jesus received. The 3 wise men, when they brought the gifts, those are good. And you will receive gifts. And even though you may not have your moms or your dads close by, know that Jesus is there and He is your peace this Christmas.
I'm thinking about the family. Most families enjoy the birth of a baby. And at this celebratory time, when we think in terms of Jesus as having come as a baby, we have to give God praise for what He has done. For God sent not His Son into the world to condemn the world, and at this point in time He sent a gift. And we are grateful to God for that gift. Everyone, most persons, love to receive a gift. And God did such a wonderful job in giving us Jesus Christ. And Christ came, He came to save us, to heal us, to forgive us of our sins. He died and He rose again because it's a life of truth. It's a life of exuberance. It's a life that we cannot say He's in the tomb, but He is alive and well. And because He is alive, we can celebrate today. He's no longer in the manger or in the crib like we have our babies, but He is alive and He's working on our behalf. If we have any problem, we can go to Him. If we want to celebrate, we can remember Jesus. The pastor spoke about frankincense, an act of worship. And so we cannot just simply just bring gifts to celebration as goal, but we can also worship Him. And like in the family, we have all the different rites of passages. We have the birth, the life that you live, and the life that is like a story being told. And at the end of it, we have the death and burial of a child or a person. And God has placed all three in, as we saw in the gifts that were presented. And so we want to thank God that even life may have challenges. Beyond those challenges, there's a hope. And there's a hope beyond the grave. And we thank God for His burial and His resurrection. So we don't have to live as though we have no hope. But we have a hope in Jesus Christ.
What is also very powerful is that, for example, you and I were raised in an environment where we were repeatedly told children must be seen and not heard. For the last couple of minutes, you've not only been seeing us, but you've been hearing representation from the cradle. So this is an unbelievable opportunity for us. Yeshua, you want to say something too?
God come to take our sins from us because He wants us to be good. I'm thankful for Him because He has done great things for us.
Excellent, excellent. And they have a view that they can very well represent. Go ahead.
Like Daniel said earlier, most people just like to get stuff to decorate their houses. But I think most of Christmas is mainly about Jesus, and Jesus don't care how your house decorated, even though you have a small stuff. I think Jesus still appreciates it.
Yeah, well, the house he loves is this house. You know, our body, the temple of the living God. And we really want to challenge us. You have a particular assignment to children. And we look and we see in our nation and in our region the struggles of our children.
Interesting, and I'm very happy that we have children represented here as very visible and vocal parts of our family. And it's important that this example around our table here, that we meet and discuss things not only related to the season of Christmas, like the children talked about, the decorations and all of that, but more importantly is transposing the values of that Jesus brought to this earth throughout our life and throughout the year as Christians. Because somebody, I remember, was saying something like, it doesn't make any sense if I don't talk to you all year. Just because it's Christmas, I'm supposed to say hi and be all nice. But what that brought out is that our children are really watching us, and they're looking to us as parents, as adults, for examples. And they're seeing how we operate all year. And then at Christmas time, all of a sudden, we just get extra nice. And we start doing all these really nice and exuberant things. And come January again, where we go back to normal. And what Jesus really teaches us, and what he really teaches us, is what the children just said. He doesn't care about what the outside looks like. He doesn't care about what you have, but he cares about the attitude in your heart, and that has to happen all year round. So he's a gift, yes, but he keeps on giving all year round.
Even as you said that, I'm reflecting with the widow and the oil, and I'm saying, and every person out there must know that, little is much with Christ. You might have little, but when you put Jesus into that little, there is joy, there is peace, there is hope, there is prosperity and blessing. So, how you start your life is not the end of the story. And so even as you develop a relationship with Christ, and many of us could testify that we started at a certain level, and as we draw closer to Christ, we grow and we develop, and we're now blossoming. So whatever little you have could be much with Christ, if only you will be patient.
Well, especially for those who are infected and affected by HIV/AIDS, for those who are struggling with values, those who feel so marginalized that they have lost all boldness to speak, for those who have no voice, for those who feel increasingly, because of their own choices, they've made some bad choices, that they've been relegated to a state of oblivion, to those whose lifestyle may be very critical and brought into the spotlight constantly, to those who are at the top of their game. Listen, Jesus is here, and at Christmas time, let's think about him. And let's look at his light, or rather let his light shine through us. And if we can touch someone with love and with a good word at Christmas time, let's see if we can extend it into the new year. From this family to your family, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. We thank you for being part of Choices. Remember, you can join us at First Assembly for any of our regular weekly services. I am Salisha on behalf of the set, reminding you that your whole life is the sum of your choices. God bless you.